normal, where we stay connected through the internet, people are putting social media platforms to good use. Vlogger Nusair Yassin, popularly known as Nas Daily, took social media by storm with his videos, and he has over 26 million fans all over the world. Now he's using his voice in a new podcast to shed light on timely topics. Well, Nas joins us now from Abu Dhabi. Hi, Nas.
Rico.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I was watching the news in the past 20 minutes, and it's like, man, the world is not doing well.
The world, yes, is not doing well. There's just so much clutter and so much developments unfolding before our very eyes. But I want to ask you, you lived here in the Philippines, Nas, and I was just counting. You've done close to 40 videos about the Philippines. What makes our country so close to your heart?
So I actually tried to start a company in the Philippines, and I lived there for 60 days or so. And then a part of my daily making videos is I make videos about my surroundings. And luckily, the Philippines has a lot of video ideas that you can make. The nature, I went to Marawi, I went to the nature, I went to the islands, I went to the people. But I think what's unique about the Philippines is that you guys love community. You love being social. You love humans. And that's what Nas Daily is about, humans. So I think it was a match made in heaven. And I'm forever grateful to have discovered or got to know so many people in the Philippines during my times.
And we really appreciate you promoting the Philippines, over 40 videos. But if you would be allowed to come back here to the Philippines, what would be the first thing that you would do?
Good question. Well, first of all, I would want to meet you in person to see the man, the legend. And
Looking forward to meet you too.
I've done the South, I've done the East, I've done the West. There's only one place left, the North. So I'm talking about north of Manila. So I want to go north of Manila and see the cold parts of the Philippines, which I've heard about.
Oh, that's Baguio City and even Sagada. It could be as low as 10 degrees. You have to really wear really thick coats and thick clothing. You have your Nas Daily, which is your vlog, but now you have Nas Talks, which is a podcast. Tell us more about that.
I'll tell you what. So, I come to realize that people don't watch videos because they like the colors. People watch videos because they like the words. And so I was very lucky that Spotify decided to have its first ever originals podcast in Asia. And we got together and we said, let us create this podcast. It's called Nas Talks. And the idea is, let us talk for 40 minutes about things that matter and go in depth to these topics that should matter to you and should matter to me. And that's what Nas Talks is about, because at the end of the day, it's the words that matter, not the camera, nothing else. And that's how Nas Talks became a thing. And that's how I'm here talking to you on CNN.
What is basically your thought process, Nas, when choosing your topics? Are there certain parameters? Are there topics that are off limits that you would not touch?
The world is full of boring topics. So I try to avoid anything that's boring to me. I try to avoid. But anything that's interesting to me,
even politically charged issues?
Well, I'm from Israel and Palestine. How more politically charged can you be? So I grew up in politically charged stuff. So, by the way, I think I think this is the wrong Spotify thing. That's the wrong podcast. It's called Nas Talks.
Nas Talks.
Not Nas. Nas Talks. Okay. Yeah, like talking now. Just to be clear.
Okay.
So nothing is off limits in my world as long as I'm interested in it.
And in one of your podcasts, you received some flack in a recent conversation with a Filipino-American vlogger named Will Dasovich. How do you deal with critics or people who take things out of context?
I wouldn't call it flack. I really wouldn't call it flack. I would call it created conversations. That's it. It got people to talk. And if I can do something with someone that gets you to talk, then I have succeeded, right? The world needs to converse more. We don't want to just, fight or just play video games. We want to talk. So I think the conversations that the podcast has created are great, and I'm very glad people are talking.
What do you feel when people say that you are an influencer?
The biggest influencer in my life is my second grade teacher. The second biggest influencer in my life is my doctor. And then also there's the first one is my mom. So moms, teachers, doctors, they're influencers too. So I don't like to colonize that word as if it's mine. I just make videos. If it changes your life, good. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, I'm not an influencer. So I think it's important we use the word for not just people who make videos on the internet, but also for people who teach you stuff at school. And for the doctor, he's the biggest, or she is the biggest influencer in your life.
And of course, Nas, before we go, there are millions of vloggers and podcasters all over the world, but we have to use this online platform responsibly.
Yes, and that's the mission of Nas Daily. And unfortunately, I'm not perfect at it. I made many mistakes in the past, many mistakes. But I try my best to not repeat the mistakes. And you know what? No one knows what the heck to do with social media. We know what to do with TV. TV has been around for so many years. Newspapers, we know what to do. But no one knows what to do with Facebook. No one knows what to do with Spotify podcasts. So we're trying to be responsible, and we're trying to learn as we go. And it's exciting. It's exciting times. Rico, you should be on Spotify too.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. Hopefully to be on your Nas Talks one of these days.
Hey, I'll have to come visit.
Thank you so much. Celebrity, vlogger, and podcaster, Nusair Yassin of the very popular Nas Daily and Nas Talks. Thank you so much for joining us from Abu Dhabi.